Hi, it's Katrina here. Today I'm sharing with you the new stamp, die and stencil release from Time for Tea Designs, which came out in May this year. So we're going to start by looking at the first stamp set, which is called Two Can Do This. It's got a really nice big toucan there and two smaller toucans, and then we've got some scene building elements of a tree, party hat, some leaves and some hearts, and then we've got some nice sentiments. Two can do this, a little toucan of my appreciation, and toucan heads are better than one. The stamp set comes with coordinating dies, and I'm going to show you a card that I made using these items. We've got a shaker card here, and I used distress ink to blend a background and cut out the shaker element and use the stamps to create a small little scene. Next we're going to move on to the moverless stamp set. We've got a very cute Highland cow, some scene building elements again, trees and birds and some grasses, and the sentiments "You're moving," "I heard," "Holy cow" and "It's your birthday." So you can combine those to make sentiments like "I heard," "You're moving." There's also a nice cute little fence there, and this is the card I made using these. I used the cow as the central item, and then I built a scene around him. The little fences are great for combining together. They stamp perfectly next to each other to make one larger fence. And I promised my daughter I would show the card that she made. There we go. And the next stamp set is called Butterflies, and we've got this very cute little girl which is great for colouring. We've got a nice big flower, and we've got a couple of butterflies and some toadstools, and then we've also got a heart again and this very cute little mouse. He is so sweet. And then we've got the sentiments: "You give me butterflies, you make me, happy birthday," and "smile." So you could combine them to say something like "You make me smile." And here is the card I made using these. You can get the coordinating dies, but I don't actually own them to show you. But I've used the stamps and cut them out to make a nice little scene, and there's the cute little mouse at the bottom there. Okay, next is the set called Be Happy. It's got some lovely little busy bees there, and you can make, again, a nice scene card. A nice little honey pot and a branch, so you can make some really nice scenes. And we've got sentiments: "Be happy to a sweet friend," and "Honey, be mine." And I just want to show you this really cute little honey spoon. I think that's absolutely adorable. That again comes with the coordinating dies, which you can see here. Okay, next we're going to move on to a set of standalone dies, and these fit perfectly with the stencil. They're standalone dies, so you can cut frames, or you could make little shapes with them, and you can combine them into your cards to use for scene cards, or you could use them as shaker cards. Uses are endless. And there's also another coordinating die set which goes with the butterfly set, and it's called Scalloped frame dies. So here I'm just showing you that the stencil goes perfectly with the very smallest hexagon die. So that fits exactly the same size as the beehive stencil. And there's one other stencil available which is called the cloud stencil. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to make a quick card using the beehive stencil. So I'm going to turn over the stencil and I'm going to attach it to a piece of card. This is Nina £80 Solar White card, and I'm going to use distressed inks in Squeezed Lemonade, Mustard Seed and Carved Pumpkin to blend a nice bright background. And I'm using my Picket Fence Studios blending brush. I absolutely adore these brushes, I think they're brilliant. So we're going to start by getting a scrap piece of card, and I'm going to lightly blend the darkest colour and go all the way around the edge. Now I always start out meaning to make a nice light background, but I always get carried away and end up getting nice and dark and bright. So I'm going to go in with the darker colour and then move to a mid-tone and then use the lightest. Now at the moment it looks a mess, but you have to bear with it and just keep adding more and more layers, and this will help the colours to blend. So we're going from the lightest colour in the middle and going out to a darker colour. So just keep going back to the outside again now with the carved pumpkin, and we're just going to keep adding the colour until we get a really good blend. I've got, which you can't see at the moment because it's not on camera, but I have got a microfiber cloth, and I've just used that between the colours just to give the brush a bit of a wipe. I'm not too worried about the colours mixing because they're quite similar and it won't show too much. but each time between the colours I'm just wiping it off. Okay, so the background is now blended, so I'm just going to wipe off my mat first, and then I'm going to turn over the stencil and remove the low tack tape from the back, just being careful not to tear the card. And then you can turn it over, and there is the beehive pattern. So I thought that I would make a quick card, so I've stamped out one of the bees and I've coloured it in, and I've added on the back an action wobbler, and then I stamped and heat embossed the Be Happy sentiment on a piece of black card and then cut that into a small strip. And then I've got some sequins which match the background quite nicely, and they're from Neat and Tangled. So I kept looking at the card and I was thinking that actually the white is quite bright, and I wasn't sure I liked that, so I put my elements on just to see how it looked. So there's the Be Happy sentiment, just to work out where everything's going to go. And then I just took them off, and I decided to come back in with my blending tool and just really lightly go over the panel, and it just takes away that bright white. It still looks white, but it just takes away that glaring white that I thought just looked a bit too much. So I'm just gently going all over the background and blending it out. There's no extra ink on the brush, but I also haven't cleaned it off properly, so that just takes away the bright white, and then we can go back in again and put the card together. So first of all, I'm just going to remove the sticky back from the action wobbler, and I'm going to pop the bee into just above the centre of the card panel, and there he is, buzzing. And then next I'm going to use a tape runner, which is a Crafter's Companion tape runner, and I'm going to adhere the card strip onto the card base. I'm just using the grid lines on my craft mat to make sure that's level. And then I'm going to adhere the sequins. So I'm using my Gina K Connect glue, which is my favourite glue for adhering small sequins. It's really strong, and it just means those sequins aren't going to go anywhere. So I'm just going round in a triangle with 3 dots around the bee, and that's where I'm going to adhere my sequins. And I've got 2 bigger ones and 1 smaller, but it doesn't really matter too much where they go. I'm just using them to add a little bit of sparkle and shine. And there's the card panel. So all you need to do once you've done that is to adhere it to a card base. So here are the cards using the new stamps and dies. I hope you like them, and if you head to timeforteadesigns.co.uk and use the code to get 10% discount off your order.